All right, welcome to the show today, guys. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the right people for your business. We have with us the CEO of Core Matters, Mr. Ryan. Core Matters helps growing companies implement a proven success to fill every position with the right people without recruiters or staffing agencies. Let's welcome Mr. Ryan to the show. How you doing there, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me today.
Yes, thank you for joining us. So I had a chance to read your bio. I had a chance to go to your website and see what your company does. Tell us a little bit about Core Matters.
Yeah, so we've been working in this space of helping small businesses hire better people faster for about 5 years now. And we've got a bunch of tools and systems, processes that we help them implement so that they get to have control over their recruiting process versus letting the third parties and the outside vendors and all that have control. So we've all got some opinion about Indeed or the job boards or something like that. So we've all got something not nice to say. And usually that's because we don't have the control. And so we help them implement our process so that they have complete control over how they're recruiting and how they're hiring.
So how did Core Matters come about? So how did you actually start at Core Matters?
Yeah, so I was in banking through the bubble in 2007, 2008. I was actually in mortgage world. And I was like, I got to do something else. And so I had this idea to start a small boutique marketing agency. And we were going to do websites and lead gen for home service contractors. I felt there was an opportunity there. So that's what we decided to do. And we did that for the first 5 years. What happened was a lot of them wanted to stop the lead gen because they didn't have enough technicians out on the road. So I remember specifically an HVAC contractor in July in Phoenix, which is where we're based. So, it's 120 degrees and they're booking HVAC appointments 3 weeks out because they don't have enough techs. So we got to the point where they ended up just coming to me and saying, hey, turn everything off. We can't do this. And I was like, you know what? Let's fix this tech issue. Let's get you some techs. I'd been doing recruiting when I was in corporate. I blended it with the marketing that we had been doing for them to generate leads. And 3 weeks later, they called me back and they said, all the trucks are filled, turn the leads back on. And so I was onto something and I just ran with it. It was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what is the importance of having the right people in your business?
Well, one of the things I hear a lot is I can't find good people. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, right? I can't find good people. Yeah. And when I dig into it and we really get to the root of that, good is the key word. And what most business owners are talking about is when they say I can't find a good person, I mean, inherently, I believe people are good, right? But when they're talking about it from an employee perspective, what they're really saying is, I can't find someone who values what I value, who cares about what I care about, who wants to take care of the customer the way I think they should take care of the customer. And what we find is that there's this misalignment of values between the people that are applying for the jobs and the business owners or the leaders in the companies. And so that's a big part of our process, is helping bridge that chasm so that they can start attracting the people that they want in their business.
That's okay. So that's really interesting. That's kind of like what staffing companies do, but like what you're saying externally, where the other business owners really don't have control of who they're literally seeing and being interviewed and so on and so forth. So how do you attract and hire Rockstar employees?
Well, the first thing to attracting good people or rock stars is you have to build a company brand that's attractive to rock stars. It's that simple, right? If your brand, if you've got horrible reviews online, if your website's broken, you got links that aren't working, if you haven't updated social media in a year and a half, you look like a broken brand. And you're going to attract broken people. Like that's what's going to happen. To just be blunt. If you want to attract rock star people, you have to have a rock star brand. Solid reviews, you're responding to reviews, you got a website that works, it's functional, you're active on social media, because most job seekers are going to Google you before they apply. So what's Google have to say? And if what Google spits out is not going to attract a rock star, you're never going to attract a rock star. It's that simple.
That's really on point. It's really simple. Google have made it very easier for employees to, or potential employees to just look at who they're looking to be hired by.
Absolutely.
So what are the most common mistakes that people have when recruiting an individual?
A couple of things. Number one, they don't really understand what job seekers are looking for. So you may have heard this before. People don't leave jobs, they leave managers. Right?
True,
So
very true.
if I'm a technician somewhere, or I'm even a white collar professional, right? I'm in banking, and I leave one bank to go work for another bank doing the same type of work. I didn't switch jobs. I switched the company I work for. I switched the leadership team. I switched my boss. And so the first thing to understand is that people are looking for the greener grass. They're not looking for a different job. They're not looking for 25 cents or $1 more an hour. What they're really looking for is a place where they feel like they belong, a place that gives them a sense of purpose. They're looking for a boss that is nicer to them or treats them differently. And when you're recruiting and you're attracting people, that's the stuff that people want to know about. They don't care about you having to lift certain amount or use certain software programs or whatever. They know how to do the job. They're doing it. What they're looking for is a different leadership team. So in your job ads, talk about your leadership team. Talk about the company culture. What is it about your company that's different? What sense of purpose do you give your team? Put those things in your job description and you'll start attracting better people.
Oh, wow, because I was going to hint at something around that number about how do one increases the applicants on which they are looking for someone to apply for a particular job. So I had a friend that was trying to find this particular position filled, and she was having a hard time, getting qualified applicants. So how do you increase that to kind of get those qualified applicants to actually apply for a job?
So again, the keyword there, qualified, right? is we're looking for quality. And so many of the systems out there, including staffing agencies and recruiters, they're a volume play. I'm going to send you a bunch of people and you're going to figure out which ones are the right ones. But if we want to attract quality, we have to understand where are the quality people. So I use fishing analogies a lot in my coaching and my training. So, and I'm going to ask this of you, what's the first decision you have to make if you want to go fishing?
My first is going to rain. I live in Florida, so is it going to rain?
But most people are like, oh, where I want to go.
Right.
That's the first thing most people say. Well, the truth is, if you decide which type of fish you want to catch first, almost all the other decisions are made for you. And so when we start thinking about quality people, let's define what a quality person looks like. If you are not hiring the right people, it's most likely because you've never defined the right person. So where do these high quality people hang out? I'm going to tell you something. This is going to shock all the listeners right now. High quality people are not on Indeed. They are not unemployed. High quality people have jobs. They are gainfully employed. So however you want to make you feel better about this, you're going to have to borrow somebody from someone else. It's that simple. So most business owners, what they do is they focus on Indeed, they focus on the job boards, they focus on the people that are actively looking. And there's only two reasons people actively look. Either one, they don't have a job and they need one, or two, they hate their job and they want a different one. And typically those aren't your highest quality employees, especially when you've got low unemployment, 5, 6, 7%. That's really low unemployment. So getting really clear on where those quality applicants are, where they spend their time, where they're most receptive is really important to finding good people.
That's very interesting. I like the point that you made, because that's true, because that's like literally how Google and Apple find the employees. They take employees, like Apple will take employees from Google and Google will take employees from Apple. Like they go back and forth with each other, just literally pinning each other about who can get the best new developer or engineer or whatever.
Absolutely.
So they do it all the time. So what are the tips and tricks of promoting the job for a potential employer. So what do you do? What are some tricks that we can have to
So I
influence
would say one of the things to not do is just rely on the job post. So don't just post a job out on Indeed, cross your fingers and hope you're going to get quality people. There are a lot of different angles you should be playing when it comes to looking for good people. If you don't have a very good employee referral program in place, get one. And good, again, it's all subjective. It depends on the industry. It depends on what you're looking for. But if you're in a business where you're used to paying 50 or $100 to somebody for referring a friend to come work for you, and your employee referral program is not working, remember, switching jobs is one of life's most stressful events. It's on that same list of death of a loved one, relocating, loss of a job. Switching jobs is on that same list. So I'm unlikely, and most people are unlikely, to call their buddy who's gainfully employed and say, hey, I'm going to get $100 if you switch jobs and go through one of life's most stressful events. Like, stop it. So make sure you've got a really solid employee referral program in place. Make sure that your people know you're hiring. I can't tell you how many times I talk to employees and they're like, oh, we're hiring? I had no idea we were hiring. Like, talk to your employees. Remember, rock stars like to work with rock stars. So if you have rock stars on your team, guess what? They probably hang out with rock stars. So ask them who they know that's looking. Like, make sure that they know what's going on. So those are some of the tips. I would say, don't keep it a secret that you're hiring. Make sure everybody knows.
That's awesome. So I noticed that you have like a niche when it comes to who you cater to. You think that's going to ultimately change, and you're going to service other businesses, like maybe in business services, IT, or of that effect? Or
So
you're going to
we're
stay?
actually shifting away from being industry focused and being more focused on positions that people need to fill. So our process works regardless of the position you want to fill. But where you get the best value from it is in those positions where you hire regularly as your business grows. So technicians are an easy one. So if you're a contractor, as your business grows, you need more technicians doing the work. General labor is another one. But as we move outside of that, we end up looking at customer service representatives, inside sales representatives, people working the phone. When we get into medical, you've got CNAs, you've got RNs, you've got physician's assistants. You know, these aren't necessarily the people that you're going to hire a headhunter for, but you need them. And as the business grows and as you fill up the beds, you're going to need more people to service those patients. So we're moving away from being industry focused and more focused on what are the types of positions. Typically, the easiest way to sum it up is if you have a lot of hourly positions that you fill as the business grows, that's where our system is going to find the best success.
That's awesome. Can you share with us, how can we find you? So if another business needs to get more insight or branding and how to attract, if you will, the rock star, the quality employee, how do they find you?
Yeah, so I am easy to find. I just Googled myself the other day. I'm on like the first 5 pages of Google. So, but the easiest way is at my website, which is thecorematters.com. And you can get access to our podcast there. We have a podcast called the Blue Collar Culture Podcast. You can download a free copy of my book. Published a book last year called Unmasked: How to Hire the Ones You Won't Want to Fire. So you can get all of that stuff online if you want to learn more. And then, of course, you can always reach out and connect with me through social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, any of those.
That's awesome. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Ryan. Appreciate you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Mr. Ryan, CEO, Core Matters, Nets IBS.